The real question is how's the first week of March already gone?
Yeah,
God, like the last 5 weeks have just been a blur.
I assume everybody recovered from St. Patty's Day. It's-
We'll talk.
I'm
Actively involved in it. We'll talk.
Saturday night, even thinking about on Friday night, even thinking about.
No,
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Saturday night. Make
Thanks,
sure
Derek.
we went a different direction.
Okay, good morning. Welcome to the March 6th, 2023 meeting of the Board of Raleigh County Commissioners. Please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, any public comment today? Okay, then we'll move on to commissioner comments. Commissioner McKinley?
All right, well. Saturday morning, there was a North County Republicans met in Randolph. And Representative Bloom was there, discussed how things are going on in Topeka, being buried in your first year, trying to catch up with everything. I updated him on the North County ambulance and also gave him the dates of when we're going to be, commission meetings are going to be in a small town, so everybody know about that. And they then I talked about, and Bloom brought it up too, about the sales tax things where they're trying to take out the local ones and the property tax exempt ones. That I said, all that happened, we all pay for it. If those people don't, somebody else has to, and everybody was. And Representative Bloom seems to think that sales tax, taking out the local tax is not, there isn't much legs on that house. The house, he doesn't think it's going to pass through the house, which is good to hear. And then also through the last week and this week, I've had phone calls, emails, different things about appraisals. Yeah, I was completely surprised. And most of them have been pretty good about it. There's a couple of them were willing to listen to what was going on and stuff. So, and then congratulations to Raleigh County girls team. They're going to the state. The Manhattan High boys made it to the state, both of them in upsets.
Yeah. Well,
Junction City too.
Yeah,
I don't know. So
yeah.
Oh, that's right. I didn't do that.
Yeah. And has the 7th seed, and Junction City's the 8th seed. So
Oh.
they're gonna have some more upsets to get there.
I think Riley County's the AC.
I
Yeah,
think so,
they're playing
against
Phelpsburg, who has done undefeated this year.
has a K-State signee that's
Yeah.
over 2,000 points in her career.
Yeah.
They played the game for a reason.
Right.
They got a pretty good assistant coach.
Raleigh County, they got a good coach.
And a pretty good assistant coach too.
They have the wealthiest high school girls assistant basketball coach in the world.
Probably
Kelsey
too.
Nelson is the coach and Jordy is her assistant
Yeah.
coach.
Jordy Nelson Williams.
Yeah, I think he's good at sports.
Yeah, the leading bet, he was leading, he and his sister and his brother are all the leading scorers in Raleigh County
Oh, really?
basketball. Yeah, and
Interesting.
they're all around athletes.
Huh.
That's
Okay.
what I got.
Okay, Commissioner Ford.
Yeah, okay. Let's see, Thursday afternoon, I was on a virtual call along with Rich and Elizabeth and Vivian with Jay Larson, County Commissioner from Knox County, Tennessee, to discuss his junior commissioners program that's been highlighted by NACO. Yeah, it's a kind of a program where you kind of get into the high school and kind of get some kids on board with duties and functions and the things that we do and work on, and kind of start getting them engaged. I'm kind of lost on all the other generations now, except for the young ones. So I think we got to start completely over and getting them educated, a little more educated and a little bit more advised on duties and responsibilities and civic approaches. So had about an hour-long conversation. You can check it out on their website. And I'm not sure what this could look like for Riley County, but it's something I've been thinking about, came across and thought, So we'll talk about it. I don't know what will happen just yet at this point in time. We may have something to be able to do later, but my guess is it'll probably take a good majority of the year to put together and be something we could do maybe in 2024 if it works out. Also on Thursday afternoon, there was a meeting of the Flint Hills Mental Health Task Force. I missed the very majority of it for the last like a minute and a half due to the prior call I just mentioned, but some of those agenda items just to keep everybody updated were activities and numbers at the Crisis Stabilization Unit. Got an update from activity that's happening in Ascension via Christie and dialogue. I think Robin's already provided to us from moving to the CEC BHC model. And Robin Cole also gave an update on what the state association is working on legislatively as well. So most of those are stuff that we've been caught up with. They came across to me because I haven't actually got them yet, but usually those actual numbers get sent along in like a PDF or a file. If anybody's interested in that, I can send them through the channel if you want to keep up on both of those. Friday afternoon, I met with Christine Wetzelman, board member from USD 383, to discuss the status of Seco Park. Very primitive at this point in time, and to answer some questions from last Monday's conversation, in particular that creation of that task force to look into the situation long term. Had a lot of dialogue with people Friday on Seco Park. Pretty popular at this point in time. That's, I guess, all I can say. Also Friday, I met with Catherine Hensler, director of the Riley County Museum, to see what they're working on, progress they're making there at the facility, and to discuss some programming and some curation that they're going to be doing here moving forward, and just talking about what their personnel needs and challenges and stuff there are as well. Like they were doing some kind of work around the facility, just trying to get some things cleaned up and straightened up, and they're still working on inside of getting it emptied out. It's going to be a long process, but they're chipping away at it pretty well. So appreciated the time, particularly mid-afternoon. Didn't seem like there was a lot going on there, but still appreciated the time she took to go through all that with me. And we're still waiting to see if the TV show is going to pan out or not. I'm hearing rumors that they may cancel the series, so we may not get the opportunity. So, if you know anybody at HBO or anybody along with that, you might send some well-being and well thoughts to them. Late afternoon, I met with Tracy Anderson from Anderson Knight Architects, and Jason Hilgers from the city of Manhattan to once again discuss some ideas about Seco Park. All this would be obviously contingent on what we decide to do. If we decide to keep the fairgrounds there and move away, so on and so forth. But like I said, there's a lot of interest there, and discussion was pretty good considering, but like I said, very primitive, very hypothetical. We'll just have to work and see how that plays along. And then there was Saturday. I'd had a ride-along scheduled with RCPD back in October. Of course, my grandmother passed away and had to reschedule that. And with everything that was going on, I kind of waited till after the beginning of the year to reschedule it. And we decided to schedule that on Saturday, March 4th, without realizing it was a pretty interesting day. I went in at 7 a.m. To sit through the briefing, just to see how they kind of put everything together. They had some extra resources from out of town available, including Kansas Highway Patrol, to just do traffic enforcement so they could focus on the other. Got through that. Even before the day started, a gentleman managed to lock himself inside the storage units out there on Eureka Drive. I still don't quite understand he drove in, was going to do something, and then couldn't get back out. So he didn't want to bother anybody, so he wanted to wait till 7 a.m. when the facility apparently opened up, and you can call the customer service number to see if they could get the gate open, but nobody answered the phone. So there was several different thoughts of how to go about accomplishing that. Finally, he got a hold of, I guess, of his girlfriend, who also had a key, so she came down and got him out. But we were going to go over to the station number 4 over there and get ladders and get real creative, and I plan on taking lots of pictures of that, but it didn't work out. So it is what it is. But we had a little bit of everything on Saturday, even outside of Fake Patty's Day. There was and I didn't hear, but there was a possible fire at Goodwill. They brought 3 trucks down there for that. Kid from Tennessee, was 18 or 19, got arrested for MIP. There, they can't just cite them because of the surety bond issue. They actually have to take them in and process them. The gating system and the locking system was not working. That sends up a red flag, especially on a day like Saturday. And at 9:00 a.m., there was about 500 people standing in line, front end of calls, working all the way around the alley, all the way back down to the substation, waiting to get in for, I guess, dollar wells or something that they were going to do for just 1 hour only. And common sense part of me says, if you're at the end of that line and it's 9:45 and you got an hour, probably no sense in standing in line, but I don't know, that's just me. Yeah, throughout the day, really it wasn't too bad. I stayed till about 5. There was probably, I'm going to estimate, about 3,000 people in the block of 900, well, really stretching from about Juliet all the way back down to 11th Street, but really consolidating the 2-block area. Manhattan Fire thought it was a good idea at some point in time to drive one of their fire rigs down that particular road, and figured out really quick that was not a good idea. Beer bottles, all kinds of stuff were thrown. That was at 1:00 in the afternoon. Thought it might get kind of bad. It didn't seem like it was. It seemed pretty calm for the most part. Some few verbal disputes, a few just typical stuff, but it was a nice day out. That's part of it. I don't know what happened later on in the evening. I think Captain Steer will be in here. He was on ground there. Drove around, took up some of the other calls, had to move a barricade around, a few other little things there. Overall, I'd say it went pretty well. We've had some very, very bad years back in the late 2000s, but said I wasn't there all night. I did spend some time with Director Pete catching up on a few things too. And was going to go back out and hang out on foot with the foot patrol, but I thought maybe I'd just better leave that one alone. So I did. Looked like K-State struggled in Morgantown, particularly in the second half. I was kind of mad, but then I got to thinking about it. I'm like, 3rd seed, you're supposed to be 10th in the conference. Yeah, can live with it.
Considering what we thought a year ago.
Yeah. I mean, Big 12 road games are just tough. I'll take a 3rd seed in the upcoming tournament, and who knows, it might work out well. But even more so than that, I should say some congratulations to Coach Tang, who won Coach of the Year, Keontae Johnson for winning Newcomer of the Year and being first team all conference, and Marquise Knoll, who was a first team all defensive player and a first team Big 12 selection. We were the only school with multiple first team selections. So, and K-State baseball picked up 3 wins at home over the weekend too. I'm throwing that out there. First home stand over the weekend. Won one game 25-3. Oh, assuming that school was probably struggling and just needed the paycheck, maybe, I don't know. Lastly, as a heads up, I too have had some correspondence on the valuation notices that have gone out. Dialogue's been pretty good with everybody I've talked to so far, but the largest concern is just the real large rising values over the last couple of years and what that's going to mean. Told them they do have some options to protest and actually get a hearing to actually break it up. It's still surprising how many people don't make the disconnection with how we fit into the equation and how the appraisers department fits in the equation. Can't make a call magically and make those things go away. That's just not how the process works. So with that, that's all I've got.
Okay, well, mine's not quite so long.
This week, I think it's going to calm down finally for a while.
It'll be a busy week this week. Thursday afternoon, kind of done some paperwork in the office. Then I went home and had a whole stack of paperwork there that I had to clear out too. So, but I had to make some calls on issues that needed attention on my house. Some insurance issues and also the appraisal issue and all sorts of things. My house went up about 16.5% this year. So that's quite a jump, but you know, when you look at the comparables, it makes sense. We drove around and looked at the comps, so. And, yeah, well, similar, but I did catch it, so mistake on my floor plan that was originally saying, so might make a difference, but it might, but, yeah, it's, I did get some emails on that, people not understanding, you know, the difference between, the city says this and, you know, housing department says it's 4%, how did I get that one
That
too?
one too.
Not sure how to answer that, but I don't know how I'd like to answer it, but I haven't yet.
I
So,
answered.
did you? Okay, good. Let's see. Thursday, I also that evening attended a meeting at the church. Friday morning, spent some time visiting at Meadowlark Hills. Hadn't been there for several years and was amazed at the amount of building that's going on.
Yeah.
A huge building going on there. So, and just all sorts of things. So it's amazing what's happening out there.
Yeah.
So, that evening I met with a group of friends for a birthday dinner, and we decided to go to Aggieville. But even, and I'm going, why is all this traffic? Why is everybody lined up for the bars? And what is going on? And I didn't even think about it. And so finally found a place to park. Had to go in circles for a while, and all the streets tied up isn't helping a bit. So it's really a mess down there. But we finally got dinner and took off, and then it was even worse when we walked out. So. Anyway, that was Friday. Over the weekend, I did watch the K-State basketball game with some friends down at Rocky K's. That was kind of a disappointment, but you know, when you look at West Virginia, they were really good. Just amazing.
Maybe come on towards the end of the year.
Yeah, and let's say did some shopping, enjoyed the weather, did a lot of yard work over the weekend, went to church, and basic stuff for the weekend. And that's about it for me.
Ready for business, Commissioner?
Yes.
First item we have is highway use permit granted Larry Hubler and Ag Drainage Inc. permission to work in the right of way. Let's call an 18-inch road culvert to sleeve the underground drainage system.
I'll go ahead and approve the highway use permit, granting Larry Hubler and Ag Drainage Incorporated permission to complete the work as outlined in the permit.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the highway use permit. All in favor? Aye.
Sure, please. Next, present to the board the resignation of Robert William Deemy from the Grant Township trustee.
And are we making the replacement there too?
If you want to do them both together, or we can do them separate, however you'd like to do it. Yeah, there's also a recommendation of Travis Shanahan from the Grant Township treasurer and clerk.
Okay.
Which happened just so happened to be the same recommendation as the outgoing individual, which is good that it happened that way.
Mhm.
But it's actually by statute, the forms are for the recommendation to come from the treasurer and clerk.
Okay.
The remaining.
Okay, I'll go ahead and make a motion and move to accept the resignation of Robert William Deemy and appoint Travis Shanahan as Grant Township trustee.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to accept Robert William Deemy's resignation and appoint Travis Shanahan as Grant Township trustee. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Next, commissioners have a cell phone, actually portable communication device. Formal. If I can get a motion on that.
I can't just say cell phone, huh?
I'm fine with you saying cell phone.
Okay. I'll go ahead and move to approve the portable communication device allowance form.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to allow or to approve the portable communication device allowance form. All in favor? Aye.
Chair sign, please.
We still need something on that card for those. And I don't want to give up personal information, but. At least a name and department or something.
So Elizabeth and I have redone the sheets
Oh.
and we are. This is the last one on that one,
Okay.
and it will state their actual job title.
Yeah,
And it's
that's,
going to state their department as well as their name.
Okay,
We just looked at it last week.
okay.
Any changes on the minutes, commissioners?
I didn't have anything. No, okay. Go ahead and make a motion to approve the minutes as written from the Riley County Commission meeting dated March 2nd, 2023.
no, second,
Moved and seconded to approve the minutes as of March 2nd, 2023 meeting. All in favor?
Aye. Tentative agendas of commissioners,
Good.
any items for next week's press
I-
conference?
I have a
Oh, sorry,
question.
go
Tentative.
ahead.
'Cause I see we've got county officials coming up. That week from today.
That was the next topic.
Okay, because, and I know we've done, we said, well, we don't have anything to talk about. A couple of department heads asked me, so why don't we have those? I said, we didn't have anything to talk about. It says, at least they think we should at least get together quarterly, just. Even if nothing big happened, just everybody to get together, thought there was value in that.
Yeah,
And that's what we talked about at the beginning
Yeah.
here. That's what the chair really wanted to
Oh,
make a priority.
okay.
yeah.
Yep, and that's my note right here.
Oh, okay. All right.
Topic for county officials. I had talked to Catherine, we didn't know if there's any real big topics, but we talked about kind of the commissioner's message this year
Yeah.
regarding the budget,
Yeah.
it's a good time to.
Yeah.
Try and get everyone on the same page from the leadership. Do you agree? On how you would like departments to approach the budgets this year and just discussion about that. Anything else you want to come up if you don't want to ask for updates from various departments or whatever, but.
Yeah, I want to ask for updates and have people communicate so we know what's going on since we don't go to the department head meetings.
Like I say, I've made it around to everybody except for two, and I think I got the last two here the next couple of days, so I'm kind of
I'm just getting
updated, but-
started.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
looking
okay.
at February, and all of a sudden it was March.
I usually have mine done in February, but with everything going on in February, it had to stretch out a little bit, but I do think it's a good idea to start discussing thoughts on the budget.
Yeah.
So we'll put 2024 budget as topic. Catherine, I know you had at least mentioned at one time at lunch. Did we want to do anything like that, or was it BYO help?
Well, what I was thinking, it was being the first one for a while, if we could have maybe some pizza. If you,
I guess we were done.
I think so, yeah. So we should-
and maybe not all of them, but at least the first one to get it going. And have people show up.
HA's okay?
No,
I like to do something that's in Riley County whenever we do these kind of
Yeah.
things, business station here. Okay. Get that arranged, commissioners.
Do you want me to come up with an agenda? Or?
Cindy will, or if you have something, if you have topics, send them to me and we'll have Cindy put it
Okay.
together. Cause she'll send it out to all the department heads.
Usually, doesn't that go through Clancy's department?
Yeah,
Okay.
we will, we'll get them to Clancy. Clancy and I both called each other last week, said, oh, by the way, we got a number, two of us to ask the commissioners,
Yeah,
county officials. So that was our task, and we did discuss it at the department head meeting last time too.
Oh, okay.
People were asking, is there going to be one?
well, and part of it is for department heads to know whatever each other is doing, not only us, but them too. So it's kind of like an open discussion on that. So.
9 o'clock, Commissioner, you have Amanda and Darren. Good morning. Come on.
Something change?
Yeah, the agenda doesn't match the. That's.
No.
There was an amended agenda, remember, commissioners, that came out?
Oh, there it is, okay.
Oh, I didn't see. it.
Yeah, no, I definitely got, because I get notified the same time you guys do.
I just-
An amended agenda came out.
It was late Thursday.
Late Thursday,
yeah, 'cause
I just
did-
went on the site and pulled it up, and that's what.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it didn't have the zoning violation workflow on it.
Well, it had,
This is new to me. Because I
had
reviewed it.
Clancy and then, and
Craig
Craig
Cox.
Cox with animal control.
Yeah, no, they're both gone today because that's what Clancy called to cancel. Can you check out on the website and see which agenda's out there? The commissioner agenda is not out there.
Yeah, I went on it, didn't have all this on.
So I guess
Oh, it went
this,
on
I get the one I printed out,
That's
did, but
correct.
when I started going
Agenda.
through. The minutes on here showed hers later with time. I guess that's the difference. It was just. The order. Thing I had showed her later. But we had-
Yeah, she originally was later. Because Clancy and Craig were early and then they both canceled.
Okay.
It does? Okay, thank you. Back there. Yes, then we pulled it up and said it comes up, correct?
Yeah,
On the
but when you
website.
pull up, if you pull up minutes, it doesn't.
Oh, gotcha.
It's showing up on the website, so yeah.
Well, it must have been amended after I went through it, because it's not all, no, this. It's not on it,
So what happens when people cancel last minute on us? We can't do anything about that.
Right.
yeah,
We could leave it on there and they not show up is the other option.
yeah, well, that's true.
No, that's right. And like I said,
We're at
It's
the
on there,
beck and
just
call
at
of
the
department heads letting us know their schedule in a timely manner.
and like I said, I guess the agenda does have that corrected, but the minutes. She doesn't, it still has the old schedule on it.
Yeah, Clancy didn't let us know until late Thursday. People, when they make their doctor's appointments, they don't always remember to let us know their schedule change, as he said he made them a month ago.
Those are tough.
Hmm?
Doctor's appointments are tough.
Yeah, I'm surprised just a month out you could get in. I mean, harder than that to get into in that quick a time period. So rather than leave a gap in the agenda, is why we moved demand out. We figured the commissioners would rather get out early than late. That's why we shoved everyone up. But it was the same background information that was in there originally for plan this time. What's Darren doing? Got to play some golf yesterday, so good. So that's good. Did you do good?
For not playing for a long time, yeah. I was pleasantly happy with myself.
These arrows that you did. Planning.
Where Coach Stank
Violation workflow,
Oh,
those charts, I like the arrow,
conference, coach of the year for the
I'd have to probably draw them.
bridge.
I see what they're saying. It's in the minute track section where the agenda isn't changed. In the order isn't changed, not the agenda, but the order. Didn't get changed in the original agenda. It's moving around. Yeah, I can show you, Yeah. Okay, thanks. Bye-bye. for your 70-degree Kansas day, Amanda.
Yes, it was very nice. Just never know what's gonna happen the next day, so.
No,
better enjoy
you
it.
not.
Yes.
55 and you're looking at it.
I mean, that's not that bad,
Mm.
you know, considering if, you have 70 and then like 10 the next one.
That's the winds, you know,
Yeah.
messes it up. I was trying to do that fabric stuff outside. And I don't think it was- had to kind of sit on it.
Ready?
Yeah, then talk about it.
All right, good morning, commissioners. Amanda Webb, Planning Director. Darren Hobbs, our Planning Compliance Specialist, is here with us as well. We are going to talk about violations, code enforcement today, as per your request. Perry was scheduled to be here with us, but he had an alternative system inspection come up, so he needed to be out in the field. That kind of needed to happen so we could keep things moving, so I will kind of fill in for him, so. So I'll have Darren kick things off. He has zoning code violations and property maintenance code violations, and he is the one who prepared the workflow, the flow charts for you folks. So he can go through those, and we also have a before and after picture of one of our ongoing or long-term, I should say, violations. And then I can talk a little bit about BH violations. So, and we'll just kind of go through some things, and certainly if you folks have questions, comments, we'll kind of leave it a little informal, how you folks kind of want the conversation to go, so.
Good morning, commissioners. As Amanda said, so made up these flow charts here, so on zoning violations, we kick them off by either somebody calling in and letting us know, or when I'm out and about and I see a violations, how those get started. And then if we have somebody that calls in, then that's when I go out and investigate to see if it's a violation of our regulations. And then after that point, if I deem that it is, then that's when a friendly letter, notification letter gets sent out to the person. And then once they contact us, then we come up with a plan of attack to work with them on abating the violation. And then if I never hear anything back from them after a point in time, then that's when a notice of violation is sent out to them. After the friendly letter has already been sent out. And then even after we work out a plan, if that gets stalled, I can also send out a notice of violation as a reminder to them that, hey, remember we talked about this, and we need to get back on track. And then after that point, if nothing's being done, that's when a final notice of violation sent out to the property owner. And then after that's sent out, if it's still not being taken care of, that's when I send out a request to prosecute to the county counselor's office for them to contact the property owner and start legal actions, or have the counselor's office work with them on coming up with a plan of attack. So that's the zoning part of it. The other is property maintenance. Starts out the same way as the zoning, being whether it's a violation or not. Starts with a friendly letter as well. Then notice of violation if nothing's being done. And again, if they contact us, we work out a plan with them and try to work with them on, getting it abated. Then if that, nothing, if they stall, then, that's when I send out a notice of order to abate. The difference between the property maintenance, and zoning violation is there's not a final notice that's sent out. It just goes to request to prosecute. So that's how that kind of works. I do try to work with them as much as I can to not send it over to the counselor's office. I know that they are busy with other stuff, so I do try to work as much as I can before that last final thing, but absolutely, that does happen where if I'm not getting any response, that I do have to do that, but I think try working with the property owner as much as I can to get things taken care of.
Darren, there isn't any kind of timing on this, like you wait how long and what time?
Oh, yeah, so they have, on the zoning violation, they have like 10 days
to respond?
to respond before the next step gets kicked in. On the property maintenance, there's 14 days. And then, after we have our conversation on how to approach it, on getting it taken care of, we usually try to do them like 30 days before that next step. But also I do take discretion if they are cleaning it up, you know, I don't like hard date that 30 days. If I do see progress, I just kind of monitor it and kind of just push them along. Even after that 30 days, if they're diligently trying to work on that.
Now, do you put the timing in the letter that sends you them, or they've got 10 days?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, put that date that they need to respond by and highlight it and everything so that they are aware of that.
so the picture's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Before and after.
Forgot about the picture.
It didn't
I
take
guess
too
that's-
long, did it?
No, once I got that sent out there, that did get taken care of fairly quickly. So, yeah, that was just a example of, I know we have some of our stagnant ones, but there are many, and this was one of them that do get taken care of throughout the county. I just wanted to show that you know, there are ones that do respond really quickly. So
Well, that's good. Okay, you have the question?
okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Aaron. Thanks, Amanda.
So I'll talk a little bit about the environmental health. Excuse me, violations. They work a lot the same, of course, as the zoning code violations and the property maintenance code violations, and how we notify folks, the letters and the actual formal notice of violations. But how we find them can be a little bit different. Certainly, we can still get complaints from citizens. You know, somebody can email us, call us, that kind of thing, and say, hey, I'm seeing X, Y, and Z, and then we'll follow up on that. But Harry finds them usually either through the pumping report or the home loan inspections or environmental systems evaluations. So the pumping reports are, of course, just that your installer, your contractor will go out, of course, pump the tank, do a service, do a evaluation of the system. And then they have to submit that report to us, so we have it on file. People have to pump their tanks every 5 years, so we need to make sure that that's happening. And then a lot of times they'll find the issue when they're doing that pumping service. And it can be minor things, and I know we've talked about that before, you know, maybe a blower motor has failed, something like that. But they need to, of course, follow up, get the repair permit, get that taken care of. If that doesn't happen, that's when a more formal violation can happen, where Ferry will follow up. Hey, you know, your pumping report said this piece was failing or this piece was broken, you need to proceed with getting that fixed. And we'll talk about that in a second. Excuse me. The other one is the home loan inspection. And I think we talked about these a little bit before too. These aren't required, but highly recommended. So what these are people who are going to purchase a home. They request these, or they apply for them, if you will. And we'll do a review of their systems, both their well, if applicable, and of course their private wastewater system as well. We'll look at all of our records, provide all of that information. And again, actually do an on the ground inspection of the unit itself to make sure things are functioning. That's also where we find a lot of the issues. Things might not be functioning properly. Could be, again, something minor. Something's wrong with the tank that just needs to be fixed. Can be something larger. We've had that before. One of the bigger things that we find with, we'll call them the ESCs, the home loan inspections, is people along the way, people have essentially added a bedroom or added a room that's classified as, under our definition, as a bedroom. When their permit says maybe 3 bedrooms, now all of a sudden it's got 4 bedrooms. That is an issue because systems are sized based on bedrooms. People always think they're based on number of bathrooms. It's based on bedrooms because, of course, capacity, how many people can actually live in the house. Even if it's just one person in a 4-bedroom house, you have capacity for 4 bedrooms. So we need to make sure the system is sized properly so it can handle the capacity so it doesn't fail, essentially. So if we find that they have more bedrooms than they're permitted for, we need to make sure people either expand their system, or usually what happens is we'll work with them so they basically remove a closet or do something in their room so it doesn't meet the definition anymore. Obviously, that's a little bit easier than adding to your lateral field or expanding your lagoon or something like that. So, but that's a big one that we will find when we do the home loan inspections. Another common issue that we'll uncover in a variety of ways is that the homeowner has done their own work, and that can be anything from repairing a part, installing a system, doing any kind of work on their system. We only allow licensed installers to do the work. Now, a homeowner can get licensed to work on their own system. They have to go through the whole process like anybody else. So it would be the training, the test, and then have Perry observe their first install. That's the normal, regular method of getting licensed for anybody. But unless you're licensed, you can't, even on your own system, you can't do any work. So that is something we've had to deal with before as well. And then again, once we get into the actual notification letters and the notice violation, it's pretty similar to zoning code, property maintenance code violations. We'll send the friendly letter out, just making sure people are aware, hey, we noticed X, Y, and Z. Here's what needs to happen, contact our office. And we've talked before, a lot of people aren't necessarily aware that, ooh, that's a violation, I need to get that taken care of. And they'll get it taken care of. And that's the same with a lot of Darren's violations as well. We can get it remedied a lot of times with a friendly letter, notification letter. If we don't hear from them, or if they're not making progress, that's when it really evolves into the formal violation. They get the notice violation, they get the time frame. We're really try to push them along. And if they're not responding to us after those couple letters, or they're not doing what they need to do, even if they do contact us, that's when we'll have to forward it to the county counselor's office for requests to prosecute further action. Depending on kind of what's going on, sometimes they'll follow up with their own letter from the county counselor, and sometimes just having that attorney's name on there, kind of helps spur people along and things get taken care of. Other times we have to go to the judge. It just really kind of depends on how responsive people are to us. One thing we wanted to make sure to note from environmental health side of things. Now, public health emergency like raw sewage on the ground, that's a public health issue. So we're not going to take the time to go through the whole notice and hey, by the way, that goes really straight to an emergency order. And under our code, we don't have to have a notice, we don't have to have a hearing. That can we can issue those. And those are effective immediately, and the district court will recognize them and will enforce them. So that's a lot more public health threat than, you know, oh gosh, a piece of your septic tank is broken or whatnot. So those are something we really do elevate and make sure we keep moving on as quickly as possible. And we do have some of those. Luckily, it doesn't happen a lot, but we do have those that we have to deal with, and they have had to go emergency order status before. So, you know, one thing to add, and Darren mentioned it a little bit too, with all of these violations, they both really try hard to work with people. And there are a lot of ones that you'll never see because, you know, Darren might place a phone call, Perry might send an email, and it takes care of the problem before it even gets to violation status. Luckily, a lot of things are handled that way, and that's, you know, that's definitely good news. If they get so far to get on our list and they start getting letters, you know, those are ones that take a little bit more effort. You know. But again, sometimes it's just another letter or two, and those get remedied as well. But we, of course, as you folks know, do have those handful that kind of cling on and linger, and you know, we can only unfortunately do so much to you know, compel compliance with some of those. So any questions about anything we talked about? Is there more information you'd like to see? Anything else specific to code enforcement you'd like to talk about?
I will, but we'll do it individually.
Have a separate, no problem.
I think it is good to know that most people are taking care of it. It's,
Yes.
you know, the only ones we end up hearing about are the problem
Right.
people.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of them that are taken care of that people just, like I said, miss something.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it really is the truth, and it's not just here, it's all over the place.
Oh,
Some
I'm
people just don't realize, oh gosh, that's a violation. I didn't know I needed a permit, or I didn't know this. You know, sometimes people just don't know. So simple phone call from one of the guys and, okay, I'll get that taken care of. They submit their building permit or whatever it is, and it's handled. And we do have a lot of those, and we do have a lot that get remedied pretty quick. And yeah, of course, you guys
The
only
ones we hear
the
about are
big
the
ones.
ones that don't.
Yeah.
Don't take
And of
care
course, the
things.
ones that are nice.
So that's the only
visible.
ones we hear about are all these problems. We
Of
don't,
course.
it's good to hear about the other ones.
Yes, yes, for sure. Yeah. It's nice to talk about the other ones,
Yeah.
and that's why Darren wanted to include that picture of that one, because that really speaks
Yeah.
a lot. You know, because you see this mess here, and really, I think it was just a few weeks and it was cleaned up. So yeah, we do tend to have more positive outcomes than we have negative. But again, you guys hear about the negative ones, and the negative ones are generally visible in the public, so that's what they're talking about. So.
Well, and I think and a lot of times people will buy a property and they don't realize that these are the regulations. And yeah, I don't know if we can send out some notices and maybe some of these regulations to realtors that typically sell properties, if that would make a difference. I don't know, but
They don't ever mess with it. I've
we've
had
tried
that.
it.
We haven't, but I've heard this from other counties. They've
Yeah.
tried to do that, and
Yeah, it's
realtors, that's, if it's not their concern in that regard, it's not their concern in that regard.
Well, there's,
I-
yeah, it's.
It becomes a property owner's issue,
That,
yeah.
You know, that you need to pay attention, you gotta get a purchase property, so.
And we've also had issues where people are buying a piece of property that has a violation on it.
Mhm.
We've had that problem too. That's why the only thing we can really do is encourage people, and I will say this every chance I get, please call us. People never want to call us, oh, I don't want to bother you, or I don't, please call us. Please call us before you buy anything. Please call us before you do anything. We will tell you all about it. We'll give you all the information you need. We'll get you all fixed up. We are not there to just tell you no. We want to help you. So please, please, please come see us, call us. We will help you. So that's, yeah, we just really like to make sure people are aware we are there and we want to help. So, because I don't want people to get into situations where they're inheriting a violation, or, hey, I think I was told I can do this on the property and oops, no, I can't. So things like that, we need to point, so they're always available. Other questions? Anything else you want to add?
Was Craig here for the other one that was on our agenda?
He was here for this.
Oh, okay.
Craig
You want
gets
to have
to,
anything?
Craig gets to deal with a lot of this stuff.
Yeah. He gets to
Well,
deal with
hopefully
the
after
ones
next
he's
year,
not
that
sure
won't
about.
be the
He's
case.
Darren's contact. Darren's got very on speed dial.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So, all right, well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
If at any time you'd like more information about code enforcement and all the successful cases, we're happy to. Thank you.
Thanks. Thanks. Actually, I have one additional thing that Barry, Wilkerson County Attorney brought down. This is the contract regarding the contract that claims
Oh.
I spoke with the commissioners about last week
Oh,
for contractual attorney.
Oh,
huge, lengthy.
Yep. So I need a motion to approve this contract between the county attorney and CJ.
Oh, that, okay, I thought you were talking about.
So I need a motion to approve that, and the chair will need to sign 3 copies of this.
That would be for the contract.
Contract attorney.
We have a motion.
Make a motion to approve the contract between the Raleigh County Counselor's Office and who was it?
It's actually between Riley County Attorney Barry Wilkerson and Attorney CJ Hard, IEG Reed.
That.
That's what I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the contract waiver agreement with the county attorney's office in Attorney Reed. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Chair signed 3 places. Yes. Thank you, Commissioner. We had a few minutes to kill. Did a little research. The Stan Hurd is actually a native Kansan. Painter of that
Oh,
large
okay.
piece of artwork out there. The last time they had an appraisal done, it was October 25th, 2006. And at that time, its value was estimated at $26,100.
Good, so it's on.
So we have a large insurance policy on it as well. So I just wanted to give you a little information. He's really big into the top field art now, doing that kind of stuff.
Well,
In fields and stuff. So yeah, you can Google his name and see him, and he wears a lot of
26
wears a lot of K-State Wildcats shirts.
It looks like $26,000.
More than that by now, I'm sure.
I'm sure, yeah, like 40 by now.
That was 2006. Yeah, always known it was right.
Invest in the right on.
Okay.
Actually, I did for the county, those in our office, clerk's office.
Yeah,
When the treasurer's and clerk's office got remodeled, the commissioners gave each of us office. They voted to spend $600 or $1,000 or something like that per office for artwork. So Eileen went to Stricker Nelson, and actually it was the architect that recommended a local artist here in town. And his name's on the paintings over there if I can think of it, but he was a little old man. He was going out of business, went kind of over in the Hobbs or somewhere over in that area. The house had a basement, I remember, and he took us down to his basement. And he'd bring the painting out and he said, "Oh, you gotta look at it with frame on it." He put frame, and so I went down there and picked them out. They were $125 a piece with frames. Local guy. They are now worth probably in excess of $5,000 each. He's a very well-known artist now, and they actually look like Kansas. They actually look like Riley County scenery. If you look at it closely, there's a lot of times customers will come into our office and they recognize them. They'll walk around in all the painting and say, "Where'd you get those?" But that was a very wise investment for the county.
Might be time to start cashing in on that investment.
And those are insured as well. But yeah, people that know his work there and all that we have those for the price that we got and what they're valued at now. And I like ours more, it's a lot better.
I would like to see some. Like hills, yeah, with fire and some of that stuff.
Maybe actually paint it on the wall. I just doesn't, I've always looked at that, just thought this is like Arizona or something.
That's a great design.
New Mexico.
I was busy.
Another Friday night.
Yeah. Yeah, we managed to.
You recover?
Yeah.
Okay.
Saturday night. Downtown. Yeah, we were a little even concerned. It ain't even safe to be downtown.
Yeah, we went morning, did a walkthrough about 1:30-ish. Other than I think Tanner's and Paul was there. They were still pretty good, and it was during game time, so we thought, so, I don't know how the evening went.
Then when we left, just for curiosity, I drove down Blue Lawn through, not more.
Yeah.
And it's about 7 o'clock, and the number of people, I mean, just a mob of people across this, I was after dinner, everybody was getting back down, probably the second phase of it. Just like, nothing of people just walking.
I was like, well, maybe I'll go and share some.
And like there was like kind of 3 houses on the same block that everybody just kind of congregated to, and it kind of spread out a little bit. So I don't know how the evening went, but.
Yes, that's passed.
Which means it's worth more, right? Like I said.
Yeah, they're worth a lot.
No, that is interesting. Look, I'm reading that same, better made it film about it.
So. Like a pagan too, and. And him personally. Like to his basement to come out pushing with him.
Best novel you might have.
Mine as well. That's my level of art knowledge. Oh, really? Your house is pretty good painter. I
managed
better
to,
than I could ever do.
Yeah.
managed to win 3 national art awards when I was in 8th grade. I wonder how much my pieces were.
Oh, yeah.
I just thought time to selling some of those prints out.
Yeah, I could never do that, John.
Huh?
I could never do that. That's true.
I didn't think I can too, but apparently somebody said otherwise. These are press conferences.
One officer spirit can affirm his Commissioner Ford in the front seat or the back seat.
Commissioner Ford was an invaluable asset all day. So I really appreciate him. I think he thought he was coming to just do a ride along and he ended up helping us all day. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome.
So, yeah, we did have, this past weekend, we had the yard party day, we'll call it house party day. Is become more of a residential area event, kind of less of an Aggieville Center type of event. It was busy but manageable for the most part. We had quite lots of officers working during the day. Want to let Kansas Highway Patrol know we appreciate their assistance. They brought lots of troopers in to assist us, and we really appreciate that. Kansas State University also had officers on duty that were helping when they could and stuff, so we appreciate them as well. It was a busy day, but I think it'll be interesting. I got an after action I'm going to do on it, and I think if I had to guess, it was probably a little bit busier than last year, maybe a little bit slower, but all in all, it was very similar to I think the event from last year. So it'll be interesting to see what the final numbers are, but busy weekend overall. I want to talk about the town halls. We completed all of those. I appreciate the commissioners' participation in many of those. It was a great opportunity for the director to get out to all our different communities and make sure that we're doing the best to serve all of our folks in the county. Got lots of good questions, and we were able to answer and address a lot of concerns during the meetings. There was a few follow-up things that we did to get information and some statistics and such. So I know we were in the process of doing that, but I thought those were really good opportunity to do those events, and they, for the most part, were very well attended. Want to talk about we have some transitions going on. I know Sergeant T spoke with Commissioner Ford this weekend. We had a promotional opportunity here at the beginning of the year, so that made some follow-up transitions and such. And Sergeant Doling is going to be actually going to investigations, so I want to thank him. He's been there for about 1.5 years as the North County Sergeant. I thought he did an outstanding job. Did a really good job of having a good presence at all the community meetings and functions, and did a really good job of leading those guys over the last 1.5 years. So I want to thank him. Sergeant Pat Teedy is going to be the new North County County Supervisor. He is in training this morning, so he's unable to attend this meeting, but plan on having him come to the one next month to introduce himself. Pat's got a very impressive resume, and big part of our community for a long time, and his family, and really excited about what he's going to be able to do up there. I think that's going to be a really good thing. Wanted to mention that we are launching a new website on March 8th. I think I mentioned it last month. Please check out our website. I encourage everybody to do that. From what I've seen so far, it's pretty impressive. It's got a lot of neat things in regards to recruiting, which is a really big deal for us. So we're hoping that we can get some information out. It's also got a way to sign up for notifications and get information for the public on crime or other things. So please check that out on March 8th, and hopefully it launches without a hitch. And that's about all I got. You don't have any questions?
Can you say the new North County?
Sergeant Pat Teedy.
Teedy?
Yep. All right, I appreciate it.
We'd like to get with you sometime and just chat and give you some perspective on Saturday.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay.
Thanks again for helping us.
No problem.
Okay. Next we have
Yeah.
Morning.
Morning.
How are you?
Good.
Good. Thanks for having me. Real quick, maybe like a business, I submitted a request to use the county plaza for an event we have coming up. But I won't be able to be here for a medical reason on Thursday when you look at it. Is that a problem, or do I need to send somebody?
Is it just standard?
Yes, just standard. It's what we always ask for.
Yeah. Should be all right.
Just this corner, very corner piece over there. So if it's okay, I mean, I can send somebody else if you want me to.
What is this for? I'm sorry.
It's for this Kansas Science Fest, and it's a request to use the
Pavilion.
southwest corner of the plaza adjacent to the public sidewalk. They're
You don't
gonna,
need any loudspeakers or anything, do you?
no,
Yeah,
they're gonna use that to build paper airplanes and then have the paper airplane race right there on that corner.
That'll probably be the one day of the year we don't have wind.
Last year it was a little difficult. We were trying to do that with the wind on out of it. Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you. I appreciate it. So we have a very busy April. coming up, which means we've been planning for this since about the beginning of the year. But we have 3 of our signature events coming up. The first one is Pink Up the Pace. It's our 6th annual breast cancer run, and 100% of our proceeds benefit Johnson Cancer Research Center. And we're really, really pleased to have Stormontville Health as our headlining sponsor again this year. They've really made an impact in the community. They're trying to really be involved in so many different ways. So they've become a really good partner to us and also to Johnson Cancer Research Center. That event is on Saturday, April 22nd. It starts at 8 a.m. We do have also, along with the 5K, we have a 1 mile honor walk. That's been a part of our tradition with this race, in that if you want to walk in somebody's honor, you only want to go 1 mile as opposed to doing a 5K. We wanted this option to be there for you. You can also donate and not run at all, or you can virtually, if you can't make it that day, you can still get the whole race packet, and you get the super soft t-shirt and lots of goodies in your bag, and you can run it on your own. It's just obviously you won't get time for it. Plates and Pours is our signature DMI fundraiser, and it is being held on Wednesday, April 26th at starting at 5 p.m. We have 2 brand new establishments that are going to be involved. Seems like every year we have a new addition to bring on. We have a new burger place that's going to be opening up called Sparks Burger. And it is a concept of sustainable, local, she's all local products, local meat, local everything, as much local as she possibly can. So very high-end beef, and at the same time, it's kind of a throwback to a malt shop. So it's going to be kind of cool. It's in the location where 5 restaurant used to be. So she will keep that dining platform out front, and in the summer, I think that'll be a fun spot to go for a burger and fries and a milkshake. The other restaurant that's going to be joining in on Plates and Pours, or not restaurant, but food establishment, is Therapy. And they sort of made a splash during COVID, came in, and she was running it out of her home kitchen, and really built a name for herself over the last couple of years. So much so that she's been able to get a storefront. She has a business partner there, and in there is going to also be a salad place, so you can pop in and get a salad and meat pies and sweet pies and all brand new. That's on South 4th Street. So we're excited to have them downtown, but also as a part of both of their grand openings will be the night of Plates and Pours. So it's going to be 400 people standing at their door. It's pretty.
Pies are so good. And the meat pie.
Yeah. So again, that's Wednesday, April 26th. If you want to purchase tickets, you can get those at downtownmhk.com. You can also sign up for Pink Up the Pace at downtownmhk.com. And lastly, we have the Kansas Science Fest, and also along with that is the Dopamine Dash Fun Run, and that is happening at 8 o'clock in the morning on Saturday, April 29th. And the Dopamine Dash is both brains and feet. So you think of it sort of as the Amazing Race, but you have STEM questions that you have to answer, as well as running in this 5K. You also have to stop and answer questions and hope that your math and science brain is in gear. So that's the Dopamine Dash. And then immediately following at 10 a.m., streets closed, Points Avenue will be closed from 5th to 3rd. And we will have approximately 60 vendors, all science-based. Lots of really cool stuff. Like I said, the aerodynamics professor will be here teaching the kids about flying paper airplanes and how to race them and actually win a race. Lots of geologists, reptiles, lots of health professionals, fire science. A lot of people in the community will be out representing all over the state of Kansas. It should be a great time. We think it's going to rise to the top as a favorite event in Kansas because it's very well attended and it's an inaugural event last year, which is why we decided we had to close down the streets this year for it. So that's on April 29th again. And you can find more information about that. It's also downtownmhk.com. That's just April. Want me to keep going?
You want to?
Sure.
How are we doing?
We're changing up third Thursday a little bit this year. Instead of going May to September, it'll be June to October. We had a lot of struggles with the hot weather. We had 3 in a row that we had to start later in the evening because it was just so hot. If you're an artist with oil painting, or you're a maker and you make soap or candles, you can't be out in this Kansas heat, and it's just getting hotter and hotter and hotter. So we went around and visited some other communities in the state and saw how they do their, typically it's called a first Friday or a final Friday. And they've always been indoors because of the unpredictability of Kansas weather. So we are moving our third Thursday's events to indoors, into our retailers. We will still have lots of things going on the sidewalks, musicians and dancers and things that really can't go inside. For our artists, will be indoors. And that will go from June to October. And we're really looking forward to it. I think this is something that we could actually do every single month of the year if we continue to do it like this. So we'll get a feel for how that works and see how the community is wanting to do that. One last thing, we started a really neat gallery in our new, we moved over to 409 Points, and our property owner has graciously allowed us to use the hallway and sort of opening area in front of a bunch of offices to create a gallery for local artists to display their work. There's no cost to them to display their work, and their art is for sale. We have a whole system of, if you are interested in buying their art, you can just come down and check it out. We're also installing a 60-foot long mural in the same hallway. It'll be downtown centric, so we're really excited about that. Create just another space open to the public, free to get in there, and it'll be a rotating public art space. So we're excited about it. Come by, 409 Points. That's about it. I mean, I could keep going. I only got to May, I think.
No, I think in that process, you've missed probably the most important and popular event of all,
What?
air guitar.
Oh, okay. So air guitar will be back in October at the final third Thursday. But Justin loves it here. He's often thought about moving here, Nordic Thunder.
Yeah.
He really loves this community. He loves the people in the community, and of course, he loves the reception and the adoration that he gets when he takes the stage in downtown Manhattan. And so he'll be back.
Okay. Good to know.
Okay. Oh, should I start now bugging you about the holiday parade?
Seriously, you can wait.
Should I start now bugging you about?
Bugging me personally, or bugging us?
You said to me last year that I needed to start earlier,
Oh, yeah.
requesting you guys to be a part of it. We're trying to break the state record.
One of the individuals you need to talk to about that is over in the corner in the red shirt.
Okay,
We can add to that list.
yeah,
Okay.
we're trying to break the record. We're so close. We gotta beat Wichita for the Christmas parade. There are bigger parades, but Christmas parade, we want to be the biggest in the state. And I'm supposed to start early with you on your coming up with your air guitar name, right? That's what it's at.
Maybe onto something there. We'll talk.
All right. Yeah, I think we should just talk now.
No, we got other people to get to today.
Okay. Any questions?
No.
Sounds like you have a great season ahead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we do. We're excited.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. And if I need to send somebody to that Thursday business meeting, shoot me an email.
I think it's
It
on our
is.
business meeting. It's just
Will be. It's
Quick
your
motion.
standard plaza really quick.
It really is. We're not using power, water, nothing. We just want that corner. So.
Yep.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, it's that time of the year.
Yes, it is.
Good morning.
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 So this week is Severe Weather Awareness Week in Kansas. This is the time where we encourage folks to take a look at your plans, to be prepared. Take a look at your kit, your family disaster kit. So if you need to evacuate your home for any reason, you've got some fresh items in there. And most importantly, to sign up for any emergency notifications, because you need to know what's going on. So we do have the Everbridge emergency notifications provided free to the citizens of Riley County. And that can be signed up for at the website of rileycountyks.gov. Today would normally be our monthly siren test, but since tomorrow is the statewide tornado drill, we'll be participating in that. So no sirens today, but tomorrow there will be outdoor warning sirens along with the Everbridge emergency notification system. So about 10 o'clock tomorrow, we will participate in that drill. So this is also a good time to take advantage of, talking with your staff. Where do you go during the business day to take shelter? What's expected? What's your procedures? Just kind of think about what would happen when we get a tornado warning that you would need to take shelter for. So just a lot of planning going on this week, and just encourage folks to do that. If you have any questions about preparing for severe weather or about severe weather itself, not that I'm an expert on what things look like, but I can certainly put you in touch with our storm spotters too, who can help you with severe weather and what to look for. But definitely preparedness. If you want to talk about how you prepare, what's some things to think about, please reach out to our office, Riley County Emergency Management at 537-6333. So take advantage of this week and start preparing for our weather. Any questions you have for me?
When they do the statewide drill tomorrow, does that include cell phone on that?
No,
No?
they won't.
Okay.
They're not, no, but if you receive the notification through Everbridge on your cell
Correct.
phone, that'll go through Everbridge.
Usually National Weather Service will send warnings. It's just only when there actually is one, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
They won't let them send the test.
Okay. I just wanted to clarify that. And is the National Weather Service having any training classes or storm spotter classes this year in person?
Yeah, so the National Weather Service is offering virtual again, so you can go to their website, weather.gov/TOP, and find a virtual presentation. We are also bringing in the National Weather Service the end of March, and I'll be back to talk to you about that, so we can get that out in front of folks. But there will be an in-person March 23rd. We'll be at Manhattan Fire Department, 2000 Denison.
Okay. I believe we've already had confirmed tornadoes this season already in Kansas, right?
I believe so. Yeah, the other night, I think there was one in Jefferson County. Yeah. Yeah. So Jefferson, Douglas County area. So
Yeah, March 23rd, 7.
March 23rd will be the national.
And then remember, outdoor warning sirens are to notify you if you're outdoors for severe weather. They're not meant to penetrate buildings. So that's why you need to sign up for notification.
Good time to get a weather radio too.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Yeah. Weather radios. Anyway, you can be notified and have multiple ways in case one fails.
Yep.
Yep. Great points. Anything else? All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
Elizabeth Ward, Human Resources Director. I'd like to ask Tara Clausen to come up. We have a celebratory note this morning, and I did give you an update last week, but just to make sure that we are able to celebrate our involvement by our employees. February 28th, we concluded the Riley County campaign for the United Way. And we ended up with a total pledge donation of $7,756, which is up quite a bit from last year, which was $4,100. And that includes, I believe did you have something you wanted to share?
We
with
do. We
Tara?
got the checkbook.
Yeah, that includes a donation by Commissioner Ford. He'll get to you today. It also, I was really happy to know it included well over half of our elected officials and a vast number of new employee donations as well. And one of the things that we get to do today is that the commissioners had previously awarded 8 hours administrative leave into a kind of a kitty, I don't know, into a pool of everyone who donated or pledged to donate at least 6 hours value of their work time. And so both Michelle and I are in that. So I'm going to step away and let Commissioner Folke and Vivian manage that. And then you want to. Okay.
It's just a little.
Okay, let's have a journal. Sterling Shannon.
Shannon Sterling, yeah, so she's in Public Works.
Shannon.
Yeah, sorry, that's out of our. That's out of our.
That's her son.
So Shannon Sterling, she works in Public Works and
Okay.
we'll make sure that she gets that. Awesome. Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. And then I don't know if Tara and you have a representative.
I just want to say thank you really for your endorsement and the encouragement from leadership to host a full-fledged workplace campaign. Obviously, the result is incredible. But what it also shares with me from my perspective is an opportunity over a period of time to share the needs of the community and allow people to become engaged in a way that's meaningful to them has incredible results when you can show that there's more than a 50% increase in awareness and giving. Really sets an example for future campaigns and for those who maybe haven't engaged fully to consider what a workplace campaign looks like. So I want to take this moment to just say thank you for your endorsement and know that we'll continue to strive to meet the needs of our social service agencies and the individuals that we're trying to serve through that. So I do want to introduce Sean Drew. He is our campaign champion. He and his wife have taken this year to really go around the community, share their personal story, and help support awareness for the university campaign. So I invited him today, maybe to introduce himself and also say thank you.
Thank you, commissioners. Appreciate the time this morning, and thank you more importantly for your support of the United Way. And thank you to the entire staff for Riley County, everybody that participated in the campaign this year. My wife and I have been honored to be the campaign chairs this year. We have a long history with United Way across multiple communities, and we love the United Way, and we couldn't imagine being in a community any better than this one to continue to help grow the campaign moving forward. So your support from the top is unbelievably appreciated. Everybody is support for whether they're doing one-time donations or whether they're doing it through payroll deduct. For us, my wife and I have always said it doesn't matter, right? $1 matters, and we do a really wonderful job of putting money to work. So thank you for the support and appreciate the opportunity from today. And I don't know Shannon, but congratulations to Shane. 8 hours of administrative leave. So thank you.
Thank you. Awesome.
Yes.
That's always.
You're welcome.
Next question, we have Russell T at 10. A little bit of break.
Standard stuff.
Where's my K-State tire?
So this is some of the field things where he's got.
Oh, yeah.
Drawing pictures out.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah, you'll see they're saying, I guess he did that. Mows it down, reading. He mows it to different levels and paints the grass and stuff.
It's interesting.
He gets. Oh, that one shows him working on it.
Just one person.
Yes.
Yeah, it's good to see you again, so.
I'll have Kate walk over there. Kate, with the back.
Oh, I know.
Is, okay, so
Yeah.
Kate will be starting July.
Oh, okay.
1. So I wanted to make sure that you knew the leadership and our support were really, not only from you, but.
Now, see this now. I have.
Okay, I've got Friday the 28th on my schedule currently, so hopefully it works out. and I'll do it, so.
We love it.
Okay,
Awesome.
good deal.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks.
Uh-huh, yeah. Yes.
Yeah, but this is all that's
That's pretty.
probably. Yeah. We get started. Really.
You busy after meeting?
Okay.
So
we're at my place?
Yeah, I got several people to meet, so it's off today, but we'll start.
And I said that, when they said that, I have. Doing these things.
Yeah, I've seen, different things put in, but not like actual art. Pretty good, Lawrence Journal.
Yeah, now I get advertisements.
Hmm.
So. More interesting.
No, not one. Yeah. I don't know.
This is only one. Nobody knew that that would be done. They put out a call, we didn't check it out. Fire. Not as controlled or anything, kind of look and see that.
I actually like stuff like that.
But review about that.
Yeah. We know who did.
We looked it up years and years ago. I could probably look it up again. It was a local guy that did it here,
It was,
donated to the commissioners. It was well before my time.
yeah, I guess that was me. From Riley, it's done a bunch of stuff. He's got one, they've got one in I think Riley State Bank. It's a bunch of different pieces. That's all instead of like that, it's all in pieces, different sort of pieces.
Yeah.
I decided to take one day down the street.
Uh-huh.
He passed away.
Oh, really?
He had
I think we gotta go.
just, this stuff, and he has birds that he carved and stuff.
Yeah, I think that's
just.
really neat, the detail in that.
Like, I wondered if that was something that he had done.
Yeah, that is really cool. I'd like to have a piece like that.
Yeah.
And there's still people trying to try it in and try it out. And keep finding that stuff. Now we were application there.
Recycling. Oh, yeah.
Wayne Van said, told me about this thing.
Oh, really?
This one, see. See,
Huh?
I've got a big chunk of stuff.
The big one sits down.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Yeah,
Kind of like that Martin Luther King
yeah,
memorial that got in DC there. A big stone and just carve everything out on one side of it, you know, that's. Rest of it around where it's.
yeah, backside.
Yeah.
Hey, Russell, you ready?
Oh, yes, it's.
Morning, Commissioners, Russell Stuckey with Emergency Management and Fire, County Fire. Been working on several different things over the last month, getting the new year started off. And one of the big things obviously is going out to bid on the fire station and see what they come in at the end of the month. We have our pre-bid meeting this Thursday at
That's tomorrow.
tomorrow at 3:00, yeah. And I won't be able to be there, but Doug will be there.
Good.
To go to a family funeral, but
Oh, I heard about your wife's.
yeah.
Husband, sorry, all right,
Yeah.
wife's husband, ouch. Wife's dad, sorry.
No, my mother,
Yeah,
yeah,
oh, mother-in-law,
my mother-in-law.
okay.
Yep. So one thing that I attended this month was the National Weather Service held our integrated warning team meeting, and so that's something that we haven't been able to have for 3 years now for the Northeast region because of our wonderful friend COVID. That's a meeting of emergency managers and the National Weather Service and KDM, and then a lot of the broadcast partners, in particular the TV stations. And then the Manhattan Mercury was there, and some few other print and radio media, but it's a meeting that we try to have annually about this time of year to just coordinate how information is shared and verified. And so in particular, the broadcasters know that they're broadcasting accurate information and accurate warnings to the citizens and to know whether to evacuate or shelter in place, whether it's a storm, flood, those kind of things. And so that was good to get together. They had some breakout sessions and the one I participated in, they were in particular talking about the winter storm that they predicted 2 weeks ago that turned out not to be as much for our area, and Chad with the Weather Service. I mean, we get along just fine. And he's like, I know Riley County, we missed, you don't have to tell me, I know we missed yours by a long ways. So I know your faith enough is probably way down here, and I just, but anyway, I brought it up, I didn't, but and then how they missed the Friday evening, which didn't affect us too much right here, but as you got east on I-70, bad. Nobody really had that on their radar, no pun intended. But so that was an interesting meeting to have, and like I said, that was the first time we've been able to have it for about 3 years. Of course, we're constantly working on the public safety building, public safety headquarters building, and all the different meetings involved with that.
Staff's obviously working on different plan updates and 911 working group meetings. We had a storm spotter Warren meeting and met with some of the leadership of Warren, and that's an area where we're very, as many other places, but you know, that's typically the amateur radio operator type of folks, and their numbers are really low, and our storm consequently our storm spotter numbers are really low. And so one way we're gonna have to supplement that is if we need storm spotters in a certain area, we'll just have to send out a fire station if we don't have any more members, you know, covering that area. And so that's the only that, and we'll, you know, rely on PD some, and if they're out in a certain area, they can give reports. But right now we just, you know, don't have any, or I shouldn't say don't have any. We have very, very low storm spotter numbers. Got something up somehow. I think that's the bulk of the emergency management side. On the fire side, we've started fire season. Haven't got hit too hard yet, but you know, didn't allow burning for most 2/3 of the weekend, and because of high winds, and we're allowing burning today. Humidity's up, the winds are down, so it'll obviously it's just weather dependent on what days we allow burning and which days we don't. So
They're burning down in the south end of the county on Saturday.
we allowed burning until
2.
2.
Yeah.
And I think he may have shut it off a little bit early because the wind started picking up.
Okay.
I think he may have sent out a subsequent message around 12:30 or so.
Okay.
But I'm not positive on that. The original plan was likely to kill about 2.
Okay.
And not so much because of the winds on Saturday, but because of the winds that were forecasted for Sunday.
Right.
So that those fires could get put out at a relatively early time on Saturday and hopefully burn down before the winds start picking up on Sunday. And that's what, you know, people need to keep in mind is we may issue a no burning notice, not because of the conditions today, but because of the conditions tomorrow. That's,
You know, less left
Yeah.
smoldering out there that fires up tomorrow when the wind hits.
that's where a very, very high percentage of our fires come from is it's not that the fire got away from you the day you burned. It's that it rekindled the next day because the wind started, either they switched directions and or got stronger and started blowing those embers another way that starts that secondary grass fire, that rekindle, and that's where a large percentage of our grass fires come from. And then another pretty high percentage is just people burning trash, or not necessarily the agricultural producers, but it's, you know, those people that live in the country on 5 acres and burn their couple acres or burn their trash, or even have their campfire out behind the house and then don't get it put out completely, and then the wind kicks it up the next day. That's where the largest percentages of our fires come from. So, like I said, on the fire side, working on getting those fire station bids in towards the end of the month, and then we can determine what we can afford financially and or how to fine tune the financing of it, whether it's cash, borrowed, or delayed. Basically are the 3 options. I think that is really the most of the highlights. We did find a grant that we can apply for specifically for recruitment and retention of firefighters, and so we're going to submit that grant hopefully this week and continue to add new volunteers and lose volunteers as normal, you know, with our population of students and soldiers. We constantly are going to lose some, you know, through no fault of theirs or our own, because they just move on, obviously. But as you can see on the back of the report there, the latest statistics on recruitment and retention. And then run report for the last month. We had 48 total calls, You can see the breakdown of what stations had, what number of calls. And then on the second page, you can see the types of response. And also on the back page. Breaks it down even further.
Any way of breaking those down? What type of calls per station?
We probably could, and it would take several pages, but
Yeah.
we could do that. Yeah. Is that something the commission would like every month, or just a snapshot of last year? Or I don't know if that, I don't think at the end of the year report we did, I don't think we broke it down that way. I mean, we can do, if you would like one for all of 2022, or
That might be good.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
I'll make myself a note. Any other questions?
Just what, I know you've been trying to emphasize recruitment, and it does look, I mean, the numbers are going in the right direction a little
Yeah.
bit, so that feels good.
Yeah, at least they're not going down.
Right, they've been going the wrong way for a while.
Yeah. Yes. So, Vivian has helped with that some as far as social media presence. And for sure, and word of mouth was our best, we went to last summer, we went to 4th of July and Hullabaloo and had a booth, and then we had a table up at Riley County High School for a couple basketball games, but we really didn't get much from those. People didn't stop too much, so I don't know if there's something different, or if we need to do that somehow, or maybe offer something. We had a little drawing for a flashlight, I think we need to put something a little bigger out there to get people to come over. But I kind of figure if we're there, if somebody has any interest, they'll come to us. And if they don't really have any interest, what's the point, So, obviously it's a finite group of people that can kind of fill that role. Any other?
Two things on that, that would be a good topic at all the small communities, and I think you mentioned it, Keats. It's those are real people. That's a good time to get the message out directly. Hey, we need volunteer firefighters. Rather than a high school basketball team. But just a thought, that's up to the board. But then also, what's full capacity on storm spotters, and how many do you have? And when's it become such a big? So few, because I remember Myron Calhoun.
Yep.
Used to be huge on, there used to be a bunch of gung ho radio guys that never seemed like storm spotters was an issue in the past, but I've been here forever, so.
I think that the ham radio operator piece just isn't as popular as it used to be. Their numbers are just down on the amateur radio operators. Like a lot of groups, the bulk of that group right now are baby boomers, and they're aging out. And there just hasn't been a lot of younger folks join that group. I mean, they have a few younger folks, but not near the percentage of 50 and 60 and 70-year-olds. There's not there to the percentage of 20 and 30 and 40-year-olds.
So how many do you need, and how many do you have?
So I think right now there's, and Lori can speak to this better than I think there's less than 15 now that are on the warrant, and there's really only about, I'm taking an educated guess here, somewhere around 5 to 10 that are actually truly active. And so as far as how many do we need, obviously they're all volunteers, and so you never know who's available when. And so it really, for a county our size, geographically and population, we probably really ought to have 30 or 40 on there, so that hopefully for any given storm, we've got 8 or 10 available to go out and storm spot. But it's hard to give definite number on that, but. 30 or 40 would be a lot better than 10 or 15.
Both of these are good topics for a world meeting, but it's up to the board.
I'll talk to you about that one, because I used to.
Any other questions?
I'll talk to him about that. I used to be part of that. group.
Used to be a storm spotter. There's a lot of us Kansas people who just as soon watch us one as opposed to hide from one.
I just didn't get into the ham radio part because it's not just interest, it's very expensive and you gotta have some secondary means to be using it really.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely some, I don't know about roadblocks, but hurdles as far as the ham side.
Yeah.
Right now, the county, we don't really budget anything, or there's no, on the fire side, we give a stipend for going on a fire run, but for the Warren people don't get anything. There's no financial incentive to do it whatsoever. There's no insurance coverage, there's no radio provided. I mean, they provide their own radio. Past practices have been, we just manage them, call them out when we need them. But there's the only financial support that we've given is, I think we paid for a radio repeater. They were able to put up on their system, on the ham system, the amateur radio operator system.
There's gotta be some alternatives or something, particularly with the new communication system. I mean, I know they got K-Link.
Don't know if that's still active.
It's not,
I don't think so.
it was about 3 years or so
And
ago.
that's something I've never been involved with in my previous ones. We didn't use ham, it was all basically fire.
Yeah.
So that's something we may have to look at is, I mean, they aren't even covered by insurance when they go out or anything like firefighter, they're provided life insurance and stuff. And so, but if somebody wants to do it, they're gonna do it. Most people, that stuff isn't gonna matter. But
Myron's involved.
yes. Or
Calhoun, Myron Calhoun.
no, I think he's, sorry. I think he's, I'm drawing a blank at the name.
You would not forget Myron.
He's been involved with a lot.
And Lori's who manages them most directly. I don't have had as much contact with them. All right, thanks.
At the red truck, that would be storage spot.
That's
Would they?
true. We just slap a decal on there.
Yeah. Do that.
That's tax right on.
Hopefully it doesn't get destroyed, but I about lost the car that 2008 tornado, so I haven't necessarily had good luck.
So leave before they hit.
Well, the problem is when it's 10 o'clock at night, you can't exactly see where it's going. That was the problem.
Okay. Well, this week, we do have that tax district meeting in Keith's on Thursday. So.
I'm not planning on attending. I'm just gonna let that become a reason.
Yeah.
Please keep us updated.
I will, so.
I have talked to both Senator Moran and Congressman Mann's office about potential funding needs to get to that point. So that dialogue is open.
I talked to somebody. That keeps it, and they don't live out there. What's the deal with
Yeah.
how did that happen? Because that's, so I explained what's happening. Oh, that's not good.
No, it isn't. Yeah.
They'd seen something in the news or on the paper or something like that. Yes, got it. What's the deal with that? So I kind of told them all the politics. Oh, no.
Yeah. Well, WIVW had said that spree houses had people had to leave because of it. That was the trade. So Vivian was working on. doing that.
I did make a retraction on that,
That's
so,
great.
yeah.
I never saw it. I didn't see it.
Well, they should have said that we had 3 houses that had challenges, but we found a way to work through them.
Mhm.
I got 2 quick things.
Okay.
I don't know, you said you were down here Thursday.
Yeah, for a while.
You have problems with the parking spot.
Well, Thursday's one of our days that come out.
Okay. Because each of the last 2 times I've come in here, we've had issues with it.
That was last week though.
Yeah, but I've been down here twice. I've been down here once since.
That's interesting.
No, no, I came down here one other time, the same thing, so we just need to be kind of tracking that, maybe a different sign might be needed. At some point in time,
Red one.
well, it looks exactly like the one that's there,
It's
and if
like-
nobody knows that it's actually there, then they don't know, but,
Person that was there when I came in. Moved down, but maybe on the first, I don't know what day it was.
Probably one of the first days.
Tuesday,
It's the
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
That's what parked there. Moved down.
Yeah, because I was heading down here Friday.
I was down here Friday and. Somebody was there originally and I came back down, they were gone, so it's probably somebody. I'm assuming that was somebody using the parking lot for business means.
I don't know.
Yeah. So I'm thinking at some point in time, we may need to change that sign out because it's too close in wording and nobody's really reading it.
Whatever the commission wants to do, we can put neon lights.
No, I think
Maybe. I
maybe,
did in red or something.
yeah, and maybe another just reserved county official or something. I don't know.
It's whatever 2 or more of you would like to do.
Well, let's see
I'm gonna
how
track it for a little bit.
Let's see how it goes,
Yeah.
yeah.
The pre-state, they had a reserved spot. This is what it said, it's not a reserve. It says, don't even think about parking here.
Don't know if we need to be that abrasive, but something that's maybe just a little segregated than the other 2 might be needed. I'm just throwing that out there. If you're down here, just kind of pay attention to it.
Yeah, well,
The last one, and it was on today's agenda, so I was hoping we were gonna get to it, but we're gonna have to have a county discussion on the animal control. There's just no getting around it.
That is coming before the meeting with the city. Greg's already got.
I need to have that meeting come before we have the law board meeting,
When's that?
20th.
Well, I think the city county meetings before that. Isn't it?
I thought the city county meeting was on the 4th.
Yeah, well, Clancy told me it's coming up later this week or next week.
Okay, fair enough.
Greg's already worked on it.
Okay.
I do know that.
trying to visualize this.
Do know that.
No, he's talking about the
City
county.
City county's the 23rd.
Yeah. The law board meetings before it.
I'll see here if we go to schedule. Yep. It's March 9th at 9 o'clock.
Okay. Sounds good then. That's
Greg Cox Animal Control Resolution.
okay.
Those.
Those are both 2 things that Clancy canceled last Thursday late. Agenda got amended late. To us, we notified late.
That's all I have for today.
Okay, anything else?
Just commissioners, the only, for the small city meetings, do want you to think about topics you want. Right now, for example, Riley, the first one, also we have is regular business for a half an hour. Starting at 6 to 6:30. At 6:30, we have an update by Clancy for 20 minutes and then Director Brian B. So I've been throwing out ideas. It's your meeting, though. It's whatever.
Well, are we gonna get somebody, the mayor or somebody else on the agenda? To inform us the stuff that's going on in the community?
If you want, we haven't reached out to the mayors to ask them.
That's,
And what day, that would day, that was the 30th?
Yeah, that was March 30th.
yeah,
Ask all the mayors for an update of their community.
Yeah, that would probably be better, yeah.
Okay.
so at least there's some interaction.
Well, like I said, you might have, you want Russell there. About the. Fire recruitment. Riley has their own city one also.
Mhm.
Yeah, we get those on there, the mayors, and then Russell for the fire and storm squad recruitment.
I don't know if they'll make RCPD will have made that change or not on the.
North County.
Thank you.
He's already, no, it's happening. And then we got a week's notice.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
all we got.
They are moving some people around.
Yeah.
And they tend to do that every now and again, and with people from off patrol and get them inside. And kind of mix the max of things around, and they've been doing that for about the last month now. So.
Whatever, it's Raleigh.
Discussing about getting whether there's something last meeting.
Like probably in all these towns, you know,
Yeah.
there's something that's important in, like say, housing.
That's what it's Go and Randolph. This week, that's gonna go there, let them know that it's really was.
Like in the mayors that have, will be contacting them, but.
Yeah.
And nice that they can. That's the state of it, state of best for the community.
Riley's gonna
Statewide.
have a meeting. We can do a special meeting, just for planning. Between the. Just. Look at what. What's kind of like what they want to do, what they want to see down.
There's anything, you know, around, you know.
I'm
Yeah,
thinking
that
about
way we
Ogden,
give
but we're not
department
doing
heads
that.
heads
the
up,
fall,
because that's
so.
not on their typical schedule, so don't even make plans accordingly. It's their later meeting.
So we want to make sure we invite the advisory board, and we want to even on the advisory board members for those meetings, at least I don't know what's happening.
I doubt you're probably gonna get most of them because they're all in different parts of the county.
Yeah, and we do have some up there.
Yeah.
Just let them, maybe let them know that we're having the meeting
Yeah.
and where they are. and-
Yeah, just let you know.
Yeah, but Gary.
In case they're interested.
And send it to them. Okay. Anything else? Okay. Have a motion to adjourn.
Yeah, I make a motion that we adjourn the March 6th meeting of the Riley County Commission.
I'll second.
Then, motion is, the motion has been made and seconded to adjourn the March 6th meeting of the Board of Raleigh County Commissioners. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.